Welcome everybody to our training today. This is training number 6 in our series of 16. Today we're going to talk about the secret of the power hour. And this is something that I have used just like forever, my entire business. And I think it's something that's absolutely invaluable. And if you take a hold of this and do it, I think it can totally change your entire business. And I'm going to guarantee that actually. So each of you at the end are going to be given a little challenge. So let's see how we do, okay? All right, so let's first start out talking about this. There's a little elephant in the room, right? And we're all trying to balance everything. So in our lives, I think we all try to balance our family. Maybe some of us have a job. We have children. We might have church responsibilities, after school activities, different things in our life that we're always trying to balance. So how do we fit in our business, right? Where does that fit in? So this experience is exactly what caused me to come to this power hour. So when I tell you about the power hour that I'm training on today, it's actually from personal experience. By the way, I will never train you on anything I have never done myself. I learned a long time ago that there's a lot of people who do trainings and teach you how to do stuff that they actually never did themselves. They just learned about it and now are teaching other people. And I made a choice to not train on anything unless I am the one who actually went through that and can give you a testimony of what worked, what didn't, why you should do it, why you shouldn't do it, and actually what happened. So let me tell you my experience. Many of you know that when I first started with doTERRA, I actually had a piano studio that I owned, and I had 60 students. It was truly a full-time job. Even though I worked from 3 till 6 every day, it was 3 hours a day, I was preparing 2 to 3 hours before that, just getting on top of what I was going to teach that day for every single class, because it was a different level of class in each one. And then there was a lot of the afterwork of bills, people who had paid, sending out emails, all that stuff, getting on the phone. And so it really was a very time-consuming job. I also had my family. I have 4 children and my husband. And then I started doTERRA. So how in the world was I going to fit this all in? And I'll be honest with you, when I first started, I didn't fit it in. And I felt like I was going to pull my hair out and just scream, truly. And if any of you ever felt that way, yeah, you totally get it, right? You feel like this elephant on top of this ball just trying to balance everything, and any minute it's all going to fall and you're going to just, not be able to handle it all. So I came up with this little strategy of working my business. So let me share with you what this is. So I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. So everybody get out a piece of paper, and I want you to actually write these down, okay? Because this is going to be really important for you to do this. I want you to, and I will do this with you. I'm going to get a little piece of paper so that you all have time to get something. Doesn't matter, just to scratch a paper. It doesn't matter, a scratch piece of paper. Doesn't really matter. Nobody's going to see this but you. But I want you to answer these questions and answer them very honestly. So number 1, how much time do I spend on my business in one day? And be honest with yourself. I want you to think, look at yesterday. What did I do yesterday? If it was 0, I want you to put down 0. Don't try to think, well, I did. If it really was 0, put a 0. And if you worked 4 hours, write down the 4 hours, okay? There's no judgment on anybody's part. It doesn't matter what you put down. This is just to kind of look at yourself and be honest and real, okay? So how much time do you spend on your business in one day? First question. Number 2, what are you doing during that time? So let's think about this. Are you on your phone? Are you on the computer? Are you on Facebook? Are you sending texts to people? What is it that you're actually doing? Are you looking through your oils and organizing them? Are you sending out samples to people? Are you going to the post office? What is it that you're doing? Okay? I want you to be honest. I'll give you a little bit of time here. What do you do during the times that you consider work time? Everybody have something written down, 2, 3, or you have in your mind kind of what it is that you're doing. It's very important for you to know this. Okay, then number 3, is the time that I spend on my business effective? Now this one you may not be able to answer right now. You may be thinking, oh, well, I don't know. That's what I was coming to learn on this video, right? Okay, this is something that you maybe you already know it's not effective. Like I spend a lot of time texting on Facebook. I know it's not effective. Or maybe you don't know. Sometimes we just don't know what we don't know. You will learn this today. If you don't know, you will learn before we're done today. Okay, so let's look at this. Do you spend all of those hours working your business, or some of it are you just thinking about your business? Let me explain this. When I was in Pampered Chef a long time ago, I will never forget when I felt like I was going crazy. By the way, Pampered Chef is a business. You work a lot and you work hard. You teach how to, cook at a class for 2 hours, and you have dirty dishes afterwards. You bring them home. There was a lot of pre-work because there was a lot of paperwork. I mean, it was just a lot of work. And I still remember there were some days during the day when my upline was trying to help me through something. And I was telling her, I'm working constantly. This is ridiculous. I feel like I'm not getting paid enough. And I remember this conversation. She said, Diane, I want you to get a piece of paper, and I want you to write down exactly what it is that you are doing. And I remember writing down going, what did I do? And I couldn't think of a thing that I had done that day. I knew that at nighttime I was working really hard to get those dishes done or whatever, but actually working on my business, I realized it was what I was thinking in my head, that I was thinking how overwhelmed I was. I was thinking about what I needed to do, thinking about what I hadn't done, thinking about why I should be doing something or shouldn't be doing something, or about what somebody thought that I should be doing. Really? I wasn't working at all. It was more of what I was thinking about. And so if you are in the process of constantly thinking about what you should be doing, thinking about what you're not doing, I want you to realize you're not really working. And it's actually taking up a lot of your space in your brain for the times that you could be working. So sometimes we're not really working, we're just thinking about it. It's good for us to be honest about that and to really go, am I that person that's doing that? Am I thinking a lot about my business and not actually doing? Okay, it's a good thing to know. Okay, so how do you know what you should be doing daily? Like, what's considered an effective use of your time? Okay, that's what we're going to learn today. Okay, so first of all, let's take a look at the 3 main things that top earners do that make them successful. There are 3 things that every single one of them do. I actually did a poll. I have a lot of very successful blue and presidential diamonds on a page that I talk to and ask questions of, and this is what I found out. Okay, here we go. You want to take notes on this one. Number 1, they're teaching and enrolling. Okay, we never stop teaching, we never stop enrolling. It's just what you do. And specifically in the first 2 years of your business, which is where many of you are right now, you're in the building phase of your business. You should be always teaching and enrolling over and over and over and over again, finding people to teach, enrolling them. Okay, if that's not something that you're doing right now, then number 1, you need to write that on your list. Okay, that should always be what you're doing. If you're thinking the people on my team aren't working, the people on my team, nope, you're not worried about the people on your team right now. You are worried about teaching and enrolling. Okay, so that's the number 1 thing successful people are always doing. Number 2, okay, once those people have enrolled, then they're helping them to continue learning. So you see what I have maybe on my oil place page? That is to help those people who have enrolled or thinking about enrolling to keep learning about essential oils, to have follow-up classes that help them to know more, to follow up with them, help them get on LRP. All these types of things are very beneficial and something you should be doing in your business. You can't just enroll somebody and then just drop them and say, well, good luck with that. No, it's kind of our job to help them, right? This is a servant-oriented business, and we need to serve them and help them, and they will continue to come back to us. So that's a huge part of our job. Okay, and then the third thing is we're then helping others learn how to teach and enroll. So this comes also from the servant side, that once we have found somebody who says, I think I want to do this with you, we're then helping them to learn how to do what we just did. Okay, so we're going to teach and enroll ourselves, help those people who we have enrolled to learn more, and then those who want to do the business, we're going to show them what we just did and teach them how to teach and enroll. Those are the 3 main things that we should be doing constantly in our business, and those are the most important business building activities. So now that we know that, let's look at this. What is the best use of your time when building your business? What would it be? It should be all the activities that help with those 3 main things: teaching, enrolling, helping and educating people, and then helping your team do the same thing. That's the 3 main things we should be doing. Okay, so I'm going to introduce to you what's called the Power Hour. This is 1 hour a day set aside to do specific business building activities. So in my personal business. When I decided I'm doing this as a business, and I had another business I was doing with my piano studio, I had to find a time to fit this all in. Truly, how was I going to do it all? And I came up with this power hour, and I would schedule 1 hour a day. And I had a little 9-month-old at home when I started my business. So it wasn't like I could just ignore him and then do my business. So I had to set up time to make sure that I had somebody to watch him. Sometimes it was a neighbor. Some people I swapped oils with. My husband had a full-time job at that time, so that wasn't going to help at all. So it was something that I actually had to schedule in. So if you think, oh, great, I'll do a power hour, make sure it's scheduled and something that you have on your calendar. Treat it like it's a business. Now you might think 1 hour, that's not enough time. It really is if you're doing the most important things that you should be doing, and I will be teaching you what that is. Okay, so the power hour, are you excited to find out about this? Okay, we're not done yet. Hold on. So first of all, let's talk about some activities that would not be something you do during your power hour. I get a lot of questions that people say to me, is this considered something I should be doing? Is this considered? So let's just move those out of the way, right? Let's find out what we're not going to be doing. And by the way, when I say what we're not going to be doing, they're still good business building activities. They're just not productive ones that will help you build your business and what you should be doing during your power hour. Okay, so let's just get these out of the way. So how many of you love to organize and alphabetize your oils? Okay, maybe some of you get out your little oil bag and you're saying, oh, I need to put all the oranges on this side, or oh, I need to put them in alphabetical order. So A, and then let's do B, and then let's C, and then I can find them better. So let me tell you, if you're spending a lot of time looking at your oils and placing them, that is absolutely not a good use of your time to build your business. Okay, sorry to disappoint you, but that's just not one of them. You can do that, but just do it after you've done your power hour. Okay. All right, next one. Watching doTERRA videos. I love this picture, by the way. I think some of us think that we have to know everything before we can teach a class, or know everything before we can help somebody else, or we have to memorize everything that they talked about with the brand new oils, or we have to know how this works. You don't. The best thing you should be doing is going to teach classes and enrolling people, and that's the best way to learn. You learn by doing. So watching is actually a good thing to do, but it's not a business building activity, okay? All right, checking your texts and email constantly. Now, you do need to do these because people are going to be responding to you if you're following up, right? But if you're checking it constantly every single moment of the day, it's a huge waste of time. So what I do is I get my power hour done before I even get to all of this stuff. Truly, so important, because you will get stuck in your texting and your emails and you'll never get to the most important things. You've got to do the most important business building activities first before you're getting into all the email and the text, okay? How about this? Memorizing the Modern Essentials book. Okay, this kind of goes along with watching videos. If you're getting in that book, which is an awesome thing to do, I'll tell you, when I first got my book at nighttime, I was reading it in bed, kind of like I would read a novel. Isn't that funny? Like, I'm reading this oil book. My husband thought I was crazy, but it's really awesome to do. Just not a business building activity. So if you're considering this something as building your business, it's not. It's a great thing to know. Do it on the side, but not during your business building activities, okay? They have to come first, and these will come after that. How about looking for sick people on Facebook? Now, I put this in here because I had a conversation one time with somebody who was kind of stuck in their business, and they said, but Diane, I mean, I spend a lot of time looking for sick people on Facebook. I don't understand what's wrong. And they were very, very serious about this. And I said, okay, how's it working for you? And she's like, well, sometimes they get a little upset with me. Like, they said that somebody responded to them saying, I just want to post on Facebook without somebody commenting to me about what oil I need. So apparently they've had other people who contacted them. Many times this can be very annoying. I don't know if you know that, but if you don't know them very well and they're not your friend and you're contacting them saying, I have an oil, can I send it to you? They're not going to really accept you really well sometimes. So I just want you to know this cannot be an effective way to build your business unless they're actually your friends and people that you know and they trust you. That is the most appropriate way to do it when you have the feeling of, I want to help somebody, not just prying on people who are sick. So there's a way to do this correctly. And by the way, it's not really something that you can do during your business building activity, during your power hour. So I put on here, not really. Because it is a good way to help people, but if you do it the right way, not the way where you're just kind of always contacting people over and over and over, okay? It can be something you can do here and there. All right, what about this? Watching daily drop videos and listening to trainings. These are awesome. Like, for instance, right now you're listening to a training and I'm glad you're on here. And I don't want you to stop doing it. I want you to do it. I just want you to understand this is not considered something that is generating business building activity. It's not. It's something you would do outside of your power hour. So what you want to do, so for instance, if you're on here today and this lasts, let's say 45 minutes, you would say, great, I spent 45 minutes on my business. I now have 15 minutes left. No, you still have an hour to work on your business. So this is something that's considered separate. And if you truly don't have time to watch this video, then you need to be watching the recordings when you do have time later. This cannot be considered your business building activity. Although it's fabulous and I want you to watch them regularly because it will help you and build your business, it's just not going to be something that actively gets you enrollments and helps you build your team, okay? All right, reading self-development books. Okay, these are awesome. All of us need to be doing something that's going to help us better ourselves, become better people, better leaders, better people that can serve others. They're excellent, but it needs to be done outside of your business building 1 hour time that you set aside for your business, okay? So keep them handy. Maybe do them at night or in the morning, but not during that hour that you set aside. Okay, so what is the power hour? It's connecting with people. That is the most important thing that you can do. Connect with people. And these can be your family, your friends, those who you invited to a class, those who invited and didn't come, those who enrolled, those who didn't enroll. It's people. It's working with people. Connecting with people is what builds your business and what you should be doing during that hour. So how do you know if your power hour is successful? I constantly ask myself this question. Is what I'm doing right now accomplishing the 3 things that top earners do to be successful? And if it's not, then you should not be doing it during your power hour. That one time that you set aside to build your business, there should be only those 3 things that you're working on, okay? So if it's not something that's going to actually accomplish those 3 things, then you should not be doing it during your business building power hour. Okay, so what do? Who do you contact? How does this work, right? I think I've put you off long enough, so let's talk about it. Okay, so number 1, you're gonna keep a log. And this log is something that just can be very, very easy. I have a really easy 3-ring spiral notebook. It's not fancy, very, very simple, and I've used it since day 1. I'm now probably on my 10th book. Seriously, I just keep going through them. And all I do on the left-hand side is I just have a little square that I mark a check mark off. And then you know what? I am going to put a stop share so I can show you my book. So let's see here. There we go. You can all see me here. This is my book. I actually picked out a little cute fun one this time. So it's pink polka dot, and inside, I'll just show you one of the pages where I write on here. I still do this to this day. I got one that I thought would be a good one to show you for today, but I'm not liking it. I have too many pages in this book, let me tell you. So basically what it is, I just write somebody's name, and then I write a little square on the side. Here it is, okay? Can you all see that? Ta-da! So I write on there somebody's name and then a little square on the side, and if I accomplish that, I will mark it off, okay? I'll put their phone number there. So you can see on here, this is really not something that I do that's like so professional. It's going in and out on me. But that's what I do. I've built my whole business doing this, guys. So I don't want you to think, oh my gosh, I have to be really professional and write everything down. Nope, that's all I have. This book right here. So what I'm doing is I'm writing down a name, possibly a phone number. If I have it in my phone, I don't need to write it down on there. And then what I was supposed to do, and then if I finished it, I'll put a check mark right next to it, okay? So that is what I do. So let's go back to share the screen, and we'll go back to exactly where we were. Okay, now if you are really technologically somebody who, you know, likes to do all that stuff, go to Google Docs and you can take notes there, and then it'll always be on your phone. You can have it handy and available of who you contacted, what you did. An Excel spreadsheet, that's something that my husband would do. He's all into those spreadsheets. Those confuse me to no end. So I'm just one of those creative people, and I can't do that. So whatever works for you, find it. But you do need to keep a log, because if you can't keep track of who you contacted and you're not able to, you know, get back to them and remember who it was and what you did, it'll be confusing. You'll get yourself overwhelmed. So find any way that you can to keep a log of that, okay? And I wrote down here that the log should have your name, your date, what you talked about, or whatever action was taken. Again, doesn't need to be fancy as long as you have a log, okay? All right, Schedule 1 full hour of uninterrupted time. If you have a kid, you need to hire a babysitter, okay? And they can come to your house or you can drop them off or whatever it works, but you have to make your business a priority. Because if you say, I'm gonna do it today, but you'll never get to it if you don't actually schedule it. And I'm talking from experience. I can't tell you how many times I said, okay, today I'm gonna do such and such, but if you don't schedule it in, it just goes away and it becomes 10 o'clock at night and you're like, did I do anything? No, you've got to schedule it in. Now, if you have a full-time job, this can be a little tricky, but again, we find time to do the things that are important to us. So if you have a job, then this might be something you do in the evenings, okay? Or break it up. Do 30 minutes during your lunch hour and then maybe 30 minutes after work. It does need to be a time when people are actually home. So you can't be doing this at 5 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock midnight because you're contacting people and people truly aren't going to be happy if you're contacting them at 5 in the morning, right? Although every once in a while, some of you do get texts from me at 5 in the morning, and I apologize. I'm just assuming you're going to read it later, and that's not going to wake you up. Brooke, I think that was you this morning. Sorry. Okay. Anyway. All right. Important. If you know the person's mode of communication, use that to contact them. For instance, my mother-in-law, she does not do any texting at all. She has a phone, I think, that will text, but she doesn't know how to use it. So I'm never going to text her, right? Now, she loves to talk on the phone, so she might be somebody that I will call and physically talk to on the phone. She also does email pretty well, but she doesn't check her email regularly. So if it's something I need to talk to her about right away, I will pick her up on the phone. Now, I have some leaders who absolutely prefer Facebook Messenger. That's like the best way to get a hold of them. I think one of the reasons why Facebook Messenger works so well is because you can actually see if they saw the message. Like there's sometimes where I will send somebody something, I'm like, did they see it? Like, was there a kid on their phone and they didn't see it? Or, you know, whatever happened, I don't know if they actually saw it. But you can on Facebook Messenger, so sometimes that works really well. Now, I have some neighbors down the street who I actually needed to talk to face-to-face. I didn't know their phone number. I didn't know how to get a hold of them. I'd only met them on the street somewhere as we were walking down the street with our kids or at the park or something. So those people would be face-to-face. So you need to find out for that specific person, what's the best way to get a hold of them? And if you don't know, you need to ask them. Say, hey, what's the best way for me to contact you? This is very important because you can send emails or texts all day and people may not get them. So keep that in mind. All right, so here's your business building activities, okay? These are the things you should be doing during that hour, during your power hour. You should be scheduling classes or one-on-ones, okay? So important, that should be always what you're doing. If you don't have any on your books, you should be scheduling more. You should be contacting people in your downline, people who came to a class, people that, hey, I'm looking for referrals for people who will schedule a class for you, okay? You should be calling or texting people to invite them to classes. In contacting, reminding people for upcoming classes, okay? For instance, if it's your own class, you need to be doing the 3 contact method and sending out the reminders, right, that we talk about of how to get people to the class. That's huge. That's an activity you definitely should be doing during this time. Contacting people about getting out samples, inviting them to an event, setting up membership overviews. If they've already enrolled, it's now time to help them understand how their membership works. Talking to them at the class about that is only overwhelming. That should be something you do afterwards. I do those on the phone. I don't do those in person. Holding a membership overview. Many times I'm texting them to set it up, and then I'm actually doing it a few days later. Okay, holding classes. That's definitely a business building activity. Now, can I say this right now? Holding classes is not a part of your hour, not part of your power hour. That's something you're going to do in the evening. So I put this on here because I wanted you all to know you should always be holding classes, and we don't want to put that to the side, which is why I kind of made it bold. We should always be holding classes, but building your business is actually what you're doing during the day to help get classes so that you can hold them. Okay. And the last ones are inviting those who attended classes and then inviting those who have already enrolled. In other words, if you're having another class or having an event or you have a training that you're doing, calling them and inviting them, texting them. Those are all considered business building activities because they all follow the 3 things that those who are successful in this business are doing, right? Every single one of these do. So let's break this down a little bit, okay? So let's say you got your list of 100, which you wrote down with your friends and family. These are the types of things that you should be contacting them about. Inviting them to classes, offering them samples, sharing your excitement about the oils and how they're working, making it about them. not about you. If you're contacting them and saying, hey, I have a deadline I'm making for this such and such, and I really need 5 more orders. Can you please place an order for me so that I can get on the such and such? That's about you, okay? Make sure that anytime you talk to them, it's about them. We're all about helping and serving others. It has to be about them. They will feel that energy from you, and it'll kind of be like, I don't think I want to do that. You know, it's just an uncomfortable situation. And again, they may help you because they're friends and family, but they may not be excited about it. Okay, so just keep that in mind. These are the things you should be doing with friends and family, specifically when you're starting and going over that list. Okay, what about those who've attended a class and they're already enrolled? What should you be doing with them? Well, you should be calling them to set up a membership overview. That's the main thing right there. And then holding them. Asking them, what else have you tried? How did they work? So many times I have had people who have enrolled, and I will text them 2 or 3 days later. And I have my little drawing tips available with me. So I have a lot of information about maybe what oils they got, or I can look up and say they got a physician's kit, did it come in, or oils that I've sampled somebody with. And I'll simply send them a text, say, hey, I gave you that Melaleuca and lavender, they're just checking in, want to see how your son's ears are feeling. They love it when you do that. Like when you ask them how they're doing, wow, people love that and they're grateful for that. So find any way that you can to ask them. First of all, you're giving them a sample or something, and ask them how it worked, okay? Invite them to a continuing education training. Here in Arizona, we have those on Tuesday nights, Wednesday mornings. Those are awesome to be inviting people to come. If they're already enrolled, they need to know how to use their oils. If you don't have those in your area, you do them. Do them yourself. I have a continuing education class that's all about pain management and essential oils. All about, doesn't matter what it is, your mood, okay? Just a follow-up class is awesome to tell these people about. Inviting them to host a class and then explain the host rewards or offering these specials. So what I do with this one is I might text people and say, hey, I am looking for 5 people to host classes, and this is the rewards that you'll be getting. Are you interested? Okay? And don't tell them, this is about me, this is for me. You're doing this to help them to learn how to use their oils better and possibly get some rewards or some items free for hosting a class. Okay? So those are some things you can do for those who have attended a class and already enrolled. What about those who attended a class but did not enroll? Okay? Again, you can text them and say, hey, Jenny, I'm just wondering, how did you like the class? What did you learn? Okay? Open-ended questions. What did you learn? What did you like best about the class? Okay? With no reasoning behind it. We simply want to help them. If they never enrolled, fabulous. They came to the class, right? Okay? Maybe send them a video or a tip on something that interests them. So what I would do in the beginning, a lot, if I would look at the prize drawing slip and I would see the notes that I put on there, and some of them might say, you know, my son suffers from asthma, or I have a mom who gets constant headaches. I might find a video that talks about essential oils and headaches, or talks about essential oil and allergies, or something, some type of a tip, and I will actually send that to them and say, hey, I saw this and I thought of you, and I'll just send that to them. Nice, right? Is that so cool? Okay, offer to give a sample to somebody to try. So I will text people and say, hey, I have several samples here that I'm giving out. I would love to send one to you. Is there anything specifically that you would like to try out? Okay, or just say I have 10 samples of deep blue here. Would you like to try one? Give me your address and I'll send it to you. And most people are never going to say no to that. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever had anybody say no to giving them a sample. Okay, or if it's a neighbor or somebody on the street, whatever it might be, just say, I have samples I'm giving out for free. Go put them on the door. Inviting them to another class. This is huge. If somebody came to a class and I did not enroll, you might think they're not interested. Did you know that many times that's not the case? Many times is that they were so overwhelmed they didn't know what to do, so they left. Truly, I would say that's 80% of the time. They were enthralled but didn't know where to start, okay? So inviting them to another class is excellent to do. That is like one of the best things you can do. So don't feel like you're bothering somebody by inviting them to another class. This is a type of text that I would send to somebody like that. So I would say, hey, Bobby, I know you came to the class last week. Just wanted to let you know I'm having another class next week. Love for you to come, and maybe I can answer more questions that you had from the original class. Or I would love for you to come and I'll give you a sample this time to try. Or I would love for you to come and bring your mother or a friend or somebody. And you'd be surprised at how many times those people came and brought somebody with them because they were interested, just a little confused, okay? All right, what about those who enrolled but haven't ordered in a while? You have a lot of those in your back office, right? Like they maybe have turned to a square or a triangle where they just canceled their order. They maybe were never on the loyalty rewards program. So this is what I do with them. And a lot of this, again, is through texting, only because I know that they are texters. Many times I might call them, or sometimes I'm emailing them. And I will say, hey, Jenny, I know that you have been using the oils for a while. I would just like to know, how can I help you with a certain oil? I know that you have the physician's kit. Do you know how to use it? Offer to call them and say, hey, I would love to go over how to use these specific oils with you. Hey, I would like to let you know I have this training coming up on how to open up your oils and use them and what to do with them. Whatever you think would work for that person, okay? Many times I'm letting them know of a monthly special. And here's what I do on that. I'll have a text that I just will copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste over and over and over and over and over and over to the same people. And then specifically, I'm going in my back office and finding people who haven't ordered in a while. Okay, and I'll just say, hey, Jenny, did you know that there's a special going on this month? When you order a total of 160 PP, you get these free. And if I include a picture with it, even better. Okay, so I'm just copying and pasting, and that I have a huge response to that. Invite them to another class. So they enrolled because there was a reason that they liked the oils, but maybe they got distracted. Something happened in their life, and they maybe forgot why they enrolled and didn't use their oil so much. Invite them to another class. That's called great follow-up and great help for people who would like, wow, she really takes care of me. And that's what they're going to think. This person is awesome. I really want to work with them. Or maybe ask them about hosting a class. Tell them about the Hast Rewards and tell them that if they get people enrolled under them, they can get their oils paid for. Many times they just feel like they can't ever afford their oils. So talk to them about how to get their oils paid for. Great thing to do. All right, moving on. How about those who've ordered regularly, but they've never hosted a class? Do you guys have those? I had people on my team who would continuously order. They'd be on loyalty rewards, but they never hosted a class. Like they ordered at somebody else's class, and then they just keep ordering every month. Guess what? These people like oils. They're ordering every single month. Why are they not hosting a class and sharing that with their friends and family? They probably want to, they just don't know how to, or maybe it's not the right timing. So this is what I do. I ask them if they'd like to get their oils paid for or get them at half price. What does that mean? That means you're going to help them get the power of 3. Okay? That means you're going to help them get people enrolled under them and eventually get a $50 bonus. And that gets their oils paid for, depending on how many people they have, how many they have enrolled. It all changes a little bit. Teach them about the power of 3 and the $50 bonus. Some people have no clue whether they want to do the business or not. If they don't even know about that, I had a lot of people in the beginning who had no idea how to do the business, didn't want to do the business, just wanted to order, but they were happy to get their power of 3 because they had a class and had people enroll under them. So help them learn about that. How about share incentives for hosting a class? So text them and say, hey, just wanted you to know, anybody on my team who hosts a class and has 6 people in attendance gets a free diffuser. If you're interested in a free diffuser, I would love to get one for you, okay? How about just thanking them for being a regular orderer? How many people do that? Just send them a random text saying, hey, just wanted to thank you. I noticed that you order regularly. Thank you so much for being a loyal orderer on my team. Wow, awesome. People don't do that nowadays. They would be totally enthralled if that's something that you did. Okay, here's a good one. How about those who have not changed their LRP order or are missing a monthly special or bonus? At the end of the month, I would scan through my back office and I would look and say, oh my gosh, there was a special of 200 PD and she put in 190. She has no idea. And I would send them a text saying, did you know? Okay, people love this. Let them know. They'll thank you for it and they think you're awesome. Okay, great way to do customer service. Okay, use your golden tickets. These are your prize drawing slips. They're invaluable. Okay, does everybody know what I'm talking about? I'm going to do a stop share again and show you my little tickets again. These are your tickets. You probably can't even see them, can you? But your prize drawing slips. At the end of the class, you're going to go around to each person and you're going to write down information on them. So, for instance, I have a person here named Sarah Rago, and she has her phone number, her email, and we have on here she doesn't have her account info, so she's already enrolled, but she wants to buy a product and she's very interested in the Breathe products, okay? And then we wrote on here that we followed up with her on this date. So these are great things to use when you're following up with people. Keep them handy. I have them all over my desk, one on the left and one on the right, and they're constantly being used, okay? Here's for Crystal Castaneda, okay? And it has her email on there and everything. Here shows that we followed up with her on a text and information about her and what she was interested in. So these are great ways to use your power hour. Take those out and start using them, okay? All right, let's go back to the screen. There we go. Okay, so let me give you some tips during your power hour. Make sure that the phone call or the text is about them. We talked about this already, but I can't emphasize it any more than I possibly can. It's not about you. It's about them, and they'll be able to tell that feeling from you when you contact them, okay? Start out every conversation talking about them. Always. Every conversation at the beginning has to be about them. So what I typically say is, hey, how's your son? If you knew that he'd been sick at the class that you met them at, mention that, okay? How's your work going? So tell me about whatever it is you had a conversation with them about. And if there was no conversation, then just simply say, hey, how you doing? Everybody wants to feel like they are cared for and somebody is really interested in them, okay? Being interested, genuinely interested in somebody goes a long way, okay? Be friendly, be excited. I have had people who followed up with me from other businesses, and they called me on the phone, and this was the message they left. Hey, this is Jenny from, gosh, I don't know, LuLaRoe, okay? And I know you came to my class the other day. I just wanted to see if you're interested in ordering. Please call me back. Okay, so number one, it was about them because they're wanting an order. And number two, the tone of her voice was very boring, okay? And number three, it didn't have anything to do about me. Like, really make sure that you are friendly, excited, and interested in them. Your voice needs to be happy and fun. Look in the mirror and make sure you're smiling while you're talking to them. It goes a long way, okay? Trust is really, really important when you're building a business. If people don't trust you, they will not work with you. Make sure you follow through. That builds trust. So when you say you're going to do something, do it. If you say, I'm going to drop this off to you later, then do it. Don't drop them just because they didn't do what you hoped they would. For instance, if somebody canceled their LRP, instead of being frustrated, reach out to them and offer some help to them. There might have been some reason why they did that. You just don't know. Remember, trust and respect are earned. A lot of times we feel like, gosh, why are they not contacting me? Why are they not, whatever it might be? Well, remember, did you earn that trust yet? It might just take a little bit more time, a little bit more follow-up, a little bit more of you kind of helping them and seeing what they need to know. And this last one is really important. Your energy when you speak comes across louder than anything that you say. Okay, and this kind of goes with the friendly, be excited part. Your energy, in other words, what they feel from you, is mainly why they will work with you. You could be doing the exact same thing that somebody else is doing in the following up department, but somebody else is having a whole heck of a lot more success. Why? It all comes back to their energy and their passion and why they're doing this. People feel that from you. Make sure that the passion that you have is an excited one. I guess there isn't a bad type of passion, is there? Make sure they're feeling your passion in that. Okay, so let me tell you typically what I'm doing during my power hour. Now, it's changed throughout the time. I've been doing this for a long time, so what I do now is totally different than what I did in the beginning. So I'll tell you what I did first, probably in the first, 6 months of my business up to a year, up to 2 years, I was constantly doing this, and this is what it was. I would look here. So say this is me, and these are the 3 legs that I'm working with. Say that I'm a premier working towards silver, okay? So maybe this leg right here has a lot of volume, this one not so much, and this one does. So these might be my 2 qualifying legs. So my goal might be that I need to hit silver, okay? So I always have a goal of what I'm working towards. And so this might be the legs that I'm working on the most. So I'll always start with that leg. Okay, and I might contact this person if they're engaged and say, how can I help you? I noticed that on this leg, you have this person ordering regularly, this person ordering regularly, but this one is not. Who is this person? How can I contact them and how can I help them? Now, if your frontline leader is not engaged right here and you're the person that enrolled them, then you have every right to contact them if you enrolled them and placed them there. But always remember that your leader here on top, you need to make sure that you always talk to them and they know exactly what you're doing if you're working on their leg, Okay, so this might be a person that you would contact. We're talking about this little triangle. And you would contact them or text them and say, hey, I noticed that you ordered 3 months ago, and you would go back to that list. Remember the list we talked about, people who have enrolled but have not ordered in a while. Go back to that list. What are the things you're going to say to them? You're going to offer some help. You're going to say, thank you for enrolling. I would like to invite you to another class. Are you interested in hosting a class if they've never hosted a class? Okay, so I would write that on my list of somebody to contact. By the way, the first 10 minutes, I'm actually writing in my spiral binder who I'm going to contact. Okay, so that might be one person that I contact is this one. Okay, then I might contact this leader right here and say, you are so close to your power of 3. You have 2 people who are ordering on LRP. These others are ordering, but they're not at 100. Let's see if we can help them with that. So I might work with her and say, how can I help this person? I might call them or text them and say, hey, let's see if we can have a class for you. Let's set up a class. I have some diffusers that I'm giving out. If you can get 6 people there. Okay, that might be somebody you're contacting. Or you might just send them a little thank you note that says, thank you for being a regular order on my team. Okay, or you might call them and say, can you tell me a little about this person underneath you? How can I help them? How can I support them? Okay, over here, this person's getting their power of 3, and look how close this person is to getting her 250 bonus. So this one's getting her $50 bonus. This one is 1 away from it. And this one just needs 1 of these 3 people to be ordering 100. So again, you're going to be either at your next class looking and going, my next enrollment might need to go here so that this person's going to get a $50 bonus, and then help this person, and you're so close to your 250. So it's really a strategy of how you contact people, what you do, what you're going to say, and look at those notes that I showed you of who am I going to contact and how am I going to say this. And it's constantly looking at your next goal. What am I looking at? Where am I going? Okay. And always, again, if you have leaders here who are engaged, you make sure you contact them, let them know what you're doing, and maybe even say to them, you contact this person, I'll contact that person, and decide on what you're going to contact. Okay, does that give you a little idea of what you're doing? Maybe you're a silver right now. So let's say that this person is a silver. These people are strong silvers. Maybe it's coming at the end of the month and you're kind of looking and saying, is my volume there? So we'd click on this and say, okay, silvers need to have 3,000 in volume. So this one's at 2,500, okay? So you might contact this leader and say, we're 500 away. Let's look and see what we can do. You might offer a special that month to help you get there, okay? That would be something to do during your power hour. And again, this has to be about them. So if you're going to offer a special, don't do something that's just about you. It has to be to help them, okay? Hosting a class, following up with them. All right, so hopefully that gives you a little idea of what I do during the power hour. If you have additional questions, I'm going to let you ask those here at the end about this, and we will answer those there. Okay, so here's your challenge. If you do a power hour every day for the next 30 days, I'm going to guarantee you will see a huge result in your business. I did this for 2 years straight, okay? I still do this. I haven't been as consistent at this part of it simply because I have more leadership parts that I do now and helping to support my team, but absolutely I'm doing a power hour constantly, as specifically the first two years of my business. So I want you all to take this challenge, take it to heart and go, everybody has an hour in the day. If you right now are saying, I don't have an hour, then you know what? You are way too busy. I'm just going to be very honest with you. If you do not have an hour to spend on your business doing a power hour, you need to look at your schedule and decide, what is it that I'm doing that I need to take out? Am I spending time watching TV? You need to look at that. Is that a waste of time? Okay. Now, if you do your power hour and then give yourself that time to watch TV, great. You know kind of what you need to be taking out or doing or changing up differently. Everybody has an hour in the day that they can do this. Okay, so next week, I want you to make sure you get on the call. September 30th is the Art of Attracting Builders. Okay, same time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is the #1 thing that people ask me all the time. How do you attract builders? How do you find them on your team? So make sure that you are on there and you learn all the tips and tricks of finding builders. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share now. And I know that some of you have questions, so I'm going to open up the chat here. And I will just answer some of the questions that we have. Okay. Melissa, sorry, no one gets to see me. No makeup yet. No problem, Melissa. Oh my gosh, I am totally on think mode. Awesome. Okay, so on your logbook, what are you tracking? Is it tracking class follow-ups, ailments of people, sample follow-ups? I would love to know. Okay, so on my book, I'll just show you again. I'm tracking all of that. Every single thing you listed on there. So follow-up, if I have somebody that I need to follow up with, I write that on there. So I sit down, I look at my back office, I'm looking at my tree, and I kind of figure out, where do I need to contact somebody? Where do I need to focus today? And that's when I will start making that list, okay? So on here I have Rhonda Truman, and with her phone number, possible class on October 15th. And so I then put a mark on there that I followed up with her, okay? The next one might be Jason, Tanya's friend. I gave a sample of Deep Blue. She had a back issue. I put a phone number there, and then I put a check mark when I followed up. I also have a date right next to it of when I contacted them. Sometimes that's important to go back and say, when was it that I contacted her? The fact that it's all in one place is so important, because if you have sticky notes, like me, that might be stuck all over the place and you can't find them. If they're all in one book, you know it's somewhere in one of those pages and you can go back and look at it. Especially if I have a date here, because it says 8/5, 8/12, 8/14, 8/17. I can go back and say, well, that was about 2 weeks ago, and I'll look back on there. So it's really not like this fabulous organized system. It's just writing it down on a piece of paper. That's really all it is, okay? So Melissa, hopefully that answered your question. I'm doing all of those. Okay, so Tracy Steele, monthly specials, is that the product of the month that doTERRA promotes or something you decide? It's really both. So I always try to do, if it's a product of the month, that's the one that I want to let them know about more than anything, because I don't have to pay anything for that, right? So if it's a special, like say last time it was put in 160 PV and you get that free peppermint, lavender, and lemon, absolutely. And then I would even include a little picture of the peppermint, lavender, and lemon. Those are ones that I would add in that little text so they kind of have a visual of that. So yes, anything, any special that you have going on, you would text them that. Okay, so Melissa, you answered my question already. Ha. All right, so Tracy, do you even do your power hour on weekends? I don't, I just do it Monday through Friday. So an hour a day, Monday through Friday. And on Saturdays, I try to spend, that's the time that I get laundry done, time with my family, and then Sunday is just a Sunday day. I don't really do anything on Sundays except go to church and be with my family and eat. I always have to eat. Okay, from Sherry, are you limiting yourself to only 1 hour every day and just making sure it's a daily thing? Or is the best strategy working as many hours at once and averaging it out? It is better to do it daily. And I think what you're asking me, Sherry, is should I work 5 hours in one day and get it all done? Just make sure those hours count. I'm going to tell you, this power hour is really going to drain your brain a little bit. Once you start doing it, you're like, okay, my brain kind of hurts, because you truly are working really hard to contact people. Your brain is just like on this mode of, I got to get this done, get this done. If you do 5 hours of that, you're going to exhaust yourself and your energy won't be there. So it's best to do this 1 hour every single day. And you're not limited to 1 hour, by the way. These are just the business building activities that are going to help move your business forward more than anything else. Okay, so that's what this is all about, just doing the most important things first. And this is what I would do for myself. When I finished my power hour, I gave myself a reward. And you decide what that reward is. Now, you're going to laugh at me, but I actually really love this TV show called Judge Judy. You guys know who Judge Judy is, right? She's the really mean judge. And she's just entertaining. So that comes on every day at 2 o'clock. I still do that today. I know you're all laughing at me, but I just find her very entertaining. So that's my little reward. When I finish all the stuff I do, I get to watch Judge Judy. And if I happen to have chocolate around, that actually sometimes might be a part of the TV watching. Or a Dr. Pepper. Or if Brooke brings me something from Sonic. So you never know what it could be. So there you go. I reward myself when I finish the power hour. Okay, that's all the questions. Anybody else have another question that they want to add on there? I will answer them for you. Okay, so Erica's saying, these are fantastic, super useful tips. Thank you so much, Diane. You are very welcome, Erica. Okay, so Maria wants to know, where do I find other previous recordings? Okay, so I have a YouTube channel and I put all recordings on there. If you click on any of the recordings that I post on the My Oil Place Facebook page, the team page, it'll bring you to that page. It'll bring you to my YouTube page. And just go scroll down, you'll see, it'll say training number 1, training number 2, and they're all put in there. They're not in order. YouTube just kind of mixes them up, but you can look for number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right, Kenny is also posting them on our Everyday Oil Business page. Good, okay. You'll find them all over the place. As a matter of fact, if you go on the My Oil Place Business page, you can scan in. You can just go on the top. If you know how to do this, on the top you can do a search and just put in business training number 1, business training number 2, and it'll bring it up on that page. That's another way to find it. Tracy, sorry for my son showing you all his food. Very cute. No problem. Okay, any other questions from anyone? Okay, thank you all for being on the recording. I love doing these, and I hope you learn so much from it. Oh, looks like we do have another message. Nope, they're saying thank you. Okay, awesome, guys. Thank you. Well, have a great day. We'll see you next week. Bye.